Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So, we've been decoding Guns N' Roses better, and as those of you who are following along know, it's a process. So, we already went through the stock market, found a couple gems in that, and now we've hit genetics. That's our second. So, we did the same thing we did before. Um, the word broken from broken heart turned to troubled heart, and the word ever changed to never. So we got broken here. You cross off the B and the B in troubled. You cross off the, you know what? Go back here where it's actually bigger. So you got, you got broken, change it to troubled. You cross off the B, you cross off the R and the R because they're alike. You cross off the O and the O because they're alike. Cross off the E and the E because they're alike. And what you're left with is K, N, U, L, D, and you bring that down. K, what? K, K, N, T, U, L, D, excuse me. So you bring that down. K, N, T, U, L, D, and then ever changed to never. Ever cancels itself out, and you're left with just the N, and you bring the N down. And what you're left with is K, N, T, U, L, D, N. All right. Well, we already went backwards and backwards through the stock market. Now we'll go forwards and backwards in genetics. So you start with KNT, and KNT is the KNT gene. So we're already lining up. KNT, molecular function. Trying to find out if we got another one of them. There are protein coding genes that we kept getting before. I'm not. Organism. Gene name KNT. Doesn't say gene type. Chemistry databases. And it doesn't say the gene type, guys, for some reason. At least I'm not seeing it. But KNT gene anyway. So that's a gene. And moving on. You got NT. And NT actually stands for Nurchal, Nurchal, translucency screening, or NT screening, is a specialized routine ultrasound performed between week 11 and week 13 of a pregnancy. All right, so there's that. And if you move on from that, you get NTU, which ends up being Nanyang Technological University in Singapore School of Biological Science. Oh. Now, we've had these universities come up before, and some of these universities definitely have quantum computers. So we circled this. We're going to run the numbers against this right here in the end. We're going to see if it comes up any more in the rest of the categories, and we're going to run the numbers against it. So there's suspect number one. See how that works? You got to get all this information. These changes contain all this information. I couldn't make this stuff up. It's all there. You can Google, you can check it yourself. So there's a suspect. If you move on from that, you got TU, which ends up being elongation factor TU. Or EFTU, non-adhesive surface proteins of Streptococcus pneumoniae. So elongation factor TU plays a major role in translation and has been found to be located in the cytoplasm as well as on the surface. So I'll let you read all about that if anybody wants to. But TU, elongation factor TU. And if you move on from that, you got TUL, which ends up being Tula hantavirus. Recombination in Tula hantavirus evolution, analysis of genetic lineages from Slovakia. So to examine the evolution of Tula hantavirus, TUL, carried by the European common vole, we have analyzed genetic variants from Slovakia, the country where the virus is epidemic. All right. So you got TUL, and if you move on from that, you get UL, which ends up being University of Louisiana Department of Biology. And considering all these hits we're getting, and I'll provide these links, guys, as always, in the description. But as you'll see, we have circled this as well. They might have a quantum computer. They might have used it. They seem to fit the pattern, right? So if you move on from that, you got ULD, which ends up being Univeric Lundberg disease. ULD. Univeric Lundberg disease. Yep. Univeric Lundberg disease is a rare inherited form of epilepsy. All right. So I'll just let that go at that and move on because it's there. You guys can look at it. But if you move on from that, you end up with getting LD, which ends up being linkage disequilibrium. Linkage disequilibrium, LD, is the correlation between nearby variants such that the alleles at neighboring polymorphisms observed on the same chromosome are associated within a population often or more often if they were unlinked. And then it goes on to talk about this. So anyway, if you go from that, you can go back up and you take LDN, which ends up being low dose naltrexone. It's a drug. Obviously, somebody was calculating it for some reason. I don't think I have to go into that. But if you move on, you got DN, which ends up being DN-DS ratio, the population genetics of DN-DS. And you can read all about that as well, but it's there, and somebody clearly calculated this. And if you move on from that, you get, that actually gets you through going forwards, guys. That's through forwards. Now we're coming back through genetics, and NDL coming backwards. NDL-UTKN, remember? NDL is noodle gene, and it's a fly-based gene. And maybe this was our protein coding gene. Yep, so there's another protein coding gene, another fly-based gene. We've got these before in our previous decodes, guys. Then you move on from that, you got LU, which ends up being LU gene, and it's also a blood group. All right, I don't think I have to elaborate on that. LU gene, it's a blood group. Where is it? Right here. All right, I had it out of order, but that's okay. So, organization of the human LU gene and molecular basis of the LUA and LUB blood group. Polymorphism. So, there's that. And then obviously I had them out of order, so I should go back. And you got LUT, which also ended up being something, and I somehow did not write this down for some reason, but create LUT map biofeatured codes to labels. So this is like a database, um, I think. And it's important because anything like that, they could definitely, I'm writing it down, they could definitely calculate anything in that, whatever the database or whatever it is. They can calculate anything within that just by hitting it. So anyway, moving on from that, you've got UT, which ends up being University Genetics UT Medical Center at Knoxville, Tennessee. And University Genetics UT Medical Center, Knoxville, Tennessee. I guess I forgot to click into this one, or I had and clicked out of it for some reason. But yeah, UT, University of Tennessee Medical Center, University Genetics. And once again, anything like that, we circle. So UT right here. UT, yeah, right here. Right here. All right, I'm pointing at it. UT Genetics. UT University, or University Genetics, UT Medical Center, right? But we got it circled. And if you move on from that, you get TNK. And TNK, how about improving natural principles with genetic engineering? We got that before, right, guys? TNK tissue. So plasminogen activator. So there's another one. That's more genetic engineering. We got a lot of that before, right? In our previous decodes. If you move on from that, you got TN. TN seems to be Monroe, Carell SR Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt. It's hard for me to read these when I have them. So at Vanderbilt, Genetics and Genomic Medicine Program, TN. And you can come down here and see that all their locations are in Tennessee. TN, which is kind of interesting. And we also circled those guys because they're a suspect. We're going to run these numbers. When we turn this into numbers, we'll run it against them. Those of you who followed along before know the drill, but there it is. We circled that. We'll see if it fits the pattern all the way. Be interesting. So then if you move on from that, you get NK, which is natural killer cells. NK cells. And I don't think I have to read too much about those. And that gets you through going forwards, excuse me, and backwards in genetics. And that's going to be that for that. So that's genetics. Now we got the stock market and genetics down. We have some circled up suspects for the quantum network usage. And we'll continue this decode in the coming days and see if we can positively link any of these guys up to using the quantum network. Then we'll have our answer for this song, why it changed. So that's going to be it for now, guys. I think that's everything we need to cover. So for now, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks for watching, guys. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.